It's time for us to get your opinion on our topic of discussion this morning. Now, corruption is something that affects you and I. It's something that has hindered the growth and development of Nigeria. It's something that each and every Nigerian has experienced, either directly or indirectly, one way or another. So yes, today we're going to be tackling that issue that affects all of us, which is Nigeria's fight against corruption. So for decades, corruption has plagued our nation, hindering progress and development. But with the current administration's promise to tackle this menace, we ask, is Nigeria's fight against corruption working? I mean, that's a question we need to ask every day, because for every administration that comes in, their goal is to fight corruption. But when they are leaving, we realize that, oh, looks like the corruption in this one was worse than the corruption in the last one, that his major goal was to fight corruption. And this administration came with renewed hope, and fight corruption was also there, but we're still seeing cases of corruption springing up here and there. Some swept under the carpet, some followed up to the end. And to an extent, it's something that Nigerians keep asking, why aren't we seeing the results? Why aren't we seeing people being taken to jail? Why aren't we following it up completely to an end, that to say, okay, this is a typical person that we use as an example for being a corrupt, office holder or a politician or whatever position he finds himself in, to deter others. So these are all the questions that Nigerians keep asking. But from high-profile cases like Yahaya Bello's EFCC saga to everyday experiences of bribery and extortion, corruption's impact is felt across all levels of society. So join us today. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, your experiences, your suggestions. Call us now on the numbers showing on your screen. We're asking, is the fight against corruption in Nigeria working? Where do they start from, the top or the bottom? How do we, finally win, even if it's not completely, but at least in such a way that we'll be able to see a difference in our economy and infrastructural development? These are questions we'd love to hear your thoughts on. So our phone lines are open. Do well to call us and let's hear your contributions. Are our anti-graft agencies effective? Are we seeing real change, or is corruption still business as usual? Are we seeing real change? Are our anti-graft agencies working? Is the fight against corruption really, really working in Nigeria, or we're still playing the same game of this person was arrested, this person was released? We've seen several cases come up and nothing is being said or nothing is being done. So the phone lines are open and let's hear your thoughts and your contributions on the show. Now, when it comes to corruption in Nigeria, corruption has deep historical roots, in Nigeria, tracing way back to the colonial eras in the 1940s and 1950s, where, emerging political elites were put in position of power without an independent financial base, leading to that, during that incubation political period, lots of people were put into power without any financial base. Now, post-independence situation worsened with, military and civilian governments engaging in widespread corruption. And all of this happened. The era of General Abacha in particularly was notorious with billions of dollars looted from the national treasury, which we're still receiving gracefully till today. Well, let's quickly take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning, mother.
Good morning. Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Muhammad from Abuja.
All right, go ahead. What's your thoughts? Are we winning the fight against corruption? Have you experienced corruption personally as a Nigerian?
My dear sister, you are just keeping deceiving ourselves. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
If you really want to fight corruption, we start from home.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yeah,
from where we go to all these mosques and churches. That is where the problem is. Now, if you now go to EFCC, if you don't know, if someone is owing you 10 million, if you have a pension to EFCC, if they get in touch with the person give them the money, they will not go out with you that you will the pension again. So it's continuing. That just listening out. It's just people that are just want to make name until we all go back to God. Check ourselves. We are all involved in this. From home, a mother that knows that his daughter or his son is not working and he or she is using the phone of 300,000, where does it come across the money? One, an agent that could not pay house rent of 250,000, and the landlord said the house is 150,000, and when it's put into the tenant, the agent is put into the tenant 300,000. Is that not corruption? What you cannot pay for. So this thing is everywhere. Or someone that is sick You don't know whether he's feeling fair or not. You are sending a message to him from the mosque or church, you should remember to pay tithe. Is that not corruption? So this thing goes from A to Z. Until we all go back to God, we are still deceiving ourselves. But it will start from home to church to mosque before to the society. God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. You know, he according to our caller now, thank you very much for making, you know, instances to the fact that corruption is deeply rooted. You know, it's a canker that is deeply rooted even within Nigeria. And it's gotten so bad that they now start calling it sharp guy. Aside the fact that it's with political office holders, which is something that is really affecting the lives of Nigerians. But at this point in time, even Nigerians themselves find a way to practice it one way or another. Let's quickly take this call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Shetima Yakudima, calling from Maiduguri.
Shetima, thank you for joining us. How is Maiduguri today?
Maiduguri, alhamdulillah, Maiduguri is cool. It is only, we are still feeling the pain. That's the reality.
Well, our heart goes out to you. Thank you to you and others who are helping out, people who are, you know, there in need. You know, thank you for being that Nigerian to them. But what's your take on our topic of discussion this morning? Have you experienced corruption one way or another? And do you think Nigeria will win the fight against corruption ever?
Well, I doubt much. Why? Because corruption has been everywhere in our society. Take it from our homes, our schools, our working place, on our streets. Corruption is everywhere, sincerely speaking. And the truth of the matter is, we in the society, as individuals, as group of individuals, we are not doing anything to tackle the corruption. As well as our government is not doing anything to tackle the menace of the corruption. Why? Because if you see it clearly, today an elderly man cannot send a little boy for a distance to do something or to buy something for him without tipping him. If you call him today, tomorrow you call him, he will dodge you. Without giving him anything, he will dodge you. That's the reality. And secondly, even in the schools, people are getting the grade that they do not deserve. They do not work for it. It is corruption. A weak student, you at the end of the day, you see he score A's. What was that? It's corruption. And today, our government, whatever menace that you done in respect of the corruption, if you jump to the ruling party, you have been covered. What is that? It's corruption. And even now, the new strategy for corruption have been shown off. That is, to me, this palliative that you are seeing is a corruption. Let us be sincere to ourselves. Because the people that are supposed to enjoy that palliative, they are not the one that really enjoy that palliative. You will see somebody who is well-to-do is giving 50 baht of the rights in the name of palliative. What is that? It's corruption. Recently, if you can remember, we jumped over the streets saying government should revive the fuel subsidy. This fuel subsidy is our property, but government have not listened to us. What was that? It's corruption. So my sister, it was only God that will help us. And we have to tax we have to stand firm to checkmate all these things. It's not only government that will do this.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Shetima, Shetima said, thank you very much for your call, Shetima. Your point you made this morning is very valid. He has said that it is the responsibility of every Nigerian, not just the government, because at the end of the day, the government stems from the society. And, on the other hand as well, in as much as Nigerians have a role to play, we also we kept on talking about cutting the cost of governance. So before I get to that, let's quickly take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from, thank you. My name is Dr. Thomas.
You're quite low. Can you speak up again a little bit so I can hear you? Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Dr. Mba Inusa Thomas, calling from Haiti.
All right, Dr. Mba, go ahead with your thoughts. What's your take? Do you think we'll ever win the fight against corruption? And do you agree with what all our callers have said so far?
Yes, corruption in Nigeria has become a cankerworm because right from the 1999, what happened, the agency have established for good motive, but at the end, since 1999, we have not had anyone convicted, only 2 people that were convicted.
Hello? I think we lost that caller. But, to add to what you just said, you said we've not had cases that have been convicted. I think we've had a couple of cases we saw that were brought to book and, they were convicted and we saw an end to it. We saw the case of Ahmed Idris in 2022, where the Accountant General of the Federation was arrested by the EFCC for allegedly diverting public funds to the amount of 80 billion naira, approximately $180 million. We saw the case of the Ziani, Alison Madueke, Ojus, Okalu, Ayode Fayoshe. These are a couple of cases, but let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abdullah.
All right, Abdullah, thank you for calling from Gwagwalada. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set and talk to us through your phone? So we would really, really want to hear your contribution.
Okay. Good morning, my sister.
Good morning. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
My sister, we are wasting our time of calling this country to address. All our leaders are corrupt, most of them, especially ministers and the senators. So we are wasting our time. They are not honest. They are looking for the people, only their children. So anything this government talk in my life, look at palliative, look at 40, they say only civil servant can buy the right is 40,000. Can you show me where they say it's 40,000? So we are wasting our time. Let us go back to God. We pray to God. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. According to our caller from Gwagwalada, he said we're wasting our time because, I would say till the government cut the cost of governance rather, and make political office unattractive enough that it's only people who are willing to serve that find themselves there. At that point, I believe we're probably tilting or shining a bright light towards corruption that might just make headway. Till that happens, but if we see political offices being very attractive and all young people nowadays want is to either make money to be like the politicians or aspire to be in political office to take their cut of the national cake like they always say, then we're still going to find and have issues with fighting corruption appropriately. But let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Tony, calling from Benue State.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Lilian from Benue State.
All right. How's Benue this morning? How are you preparing for the supposed the Lagdo Dam water release and all? What's it like in Benue? Has anything started happening? Are you noticing any flood whatsoever?
No flood yet.
Oh, all right. So that's good to know.
The way I'm living in the local government, which is very far from Makurdi.
All right.
But we haven't had any case of flooding in Makurdi for now.
Okay, now that's good to know. Go ahead. What's your take on corruption? Do you think Nigeria would win the fight? Do you think the anti-graft agencies are doing enough? What role do you think we as Nigerians can play to fight corruption in our own little way?
You see, I listen to so many people that commented. It's as if people have lose their hope that in this country nothing will work. And it is not like that. The reason why they are seeing is that it won't work is because the right person hasn't come to power. The corruption in Nigeria are not being to the level that one will lose hope. It's only the reason why it is like this is because the people in power, they are not ready to fight the corruption. Take a good governor and the seat, take a good president in the seat. You see all these things will be a story. some of us that are matured during 1983 and 84, we see what military government did that and control corruption and everybody maintain things in order. I don't think we should lose hope. All what will be struggling is to have good people on the street. And when you have good people, if the people in power are right people, they will deal with corruption.
All right. Hello, are you still there? Well, thank you for your thoughts. I think I love the positivity you have for Nigeria, and it's a mindset I believe every Nigerian out there should have. I mean, Nigeria is ours. We can't give up on Nigeria just yet. He said what we need are the right set of leaders in power. And it also brings us back to even the electoral process. Nigerians have lost hope so much that they don't even trust the electoral process to give them the opportunity to vote the kind of leaders they want into power. And it starts from there. But let's quickly take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Olaleka. I'm calling from Abuja.
Olaleka, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What part of Abuja are you calling from?
I'm calling from Gwarimpa.
Gwarimpa. Okay, so you're not near the Papi axis. All right. Go ahead. What's your thoughts on this?
No, the last caller just mentioned that it seems Nigerians we lose hope. Why would we lose hope? It's referring to 1983 during General Buhari. Was General Buhari as the military leader that tried to put that in order along with today? But was it not a civilian president? Now why can't he do the same thing now? You see, the problem we have is that we lack to say the truth. That is the problem that is causing the corruption here in Nigeria. Let me give an instance that what happened to me. I took my car to a mechanic village to service my car for me. For the troubles I had in that mechanic, I left my car with him. But remove the engine oil, remove the filter. And he asked how much he said I paid him. I left. And I called him back, have you changed the oil? He said yes. No, that it's not the real oil he bought for me. He bought what they call the local one, and I paid him for the original one. Is that government? Let's face reality. This thing is everywhere. If we need to control this corruption and we are going to win it, we need to start from home and from individual. The FCC, the SCPC, if you have money, if they, as a petition against you, before the petition will be established, if you don't have money, they will not establish your petition. So who is now fighting corruption? If you raise a petition against someone that has money, that he has a name, and that person is owing huge money, they will summon the person. Once they can offer them something, they will not do anything to you that you wrote the petition. Go and ask many people that are carrying at SCP office and many petitions that wrote to the FCC. You just the one they just come to the FCC and say because they just want to make money. Go and look at those boys that work there. What is the level of their salary? Go and check the cars they use. Go and check where they are living. Come to Abuja, come and see who are living in FCC quarters there. What is their salary? How they manage to get a house? Who is that fighting corruption? The same thing in the mosque. When someone begs for money, they will not get. But when they donate money for that person, the Alpha will know how to strike with. The same thing in the church. Where do we get that sincere person? So until we get that, that means if government really wants to fight corruption, nearly 86% of people in Nigeria will have to go for it. Because the sincerity is nowhere. The taxi driver is not, the cook is not. Where is that trust? In the media, there is no trust. No, where is that trust? Where there's no corruption? Until we have to work on ourselves. The POS, voila. If you do mistake to forget, to just type your your PIN number. So what is where? No, just tell me where there's no corruption in this country now. The fuel attendant, if you are buying fuel, they will just talk to you and speak over to divert your attention. They will tap out with the meter. Why is that we want to see the society in this country? Until we go back to ourselves first. God is always available for us. We work on ourselves. Government, who are the government? Are we not the government? We start the government from home now. Husband and wife, father to daughter, mother to son. We start from there. So before we move out to the side, before we talk about government, let's work on ourselves then. Because if we are talking about FCC, if we are talking about SCPC, they are just making names for themselves. They are not truly working.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this thought-provoking points you've laid down for us today, and it's about time we question ourselves as Nigerians. You know, how sincere are you in your daily dealings? That's always a question I keep asking. Now, when, like he said, he's given an instance of his mechanic, give an instance of schools. We had a caller who gave an instance of schools, give an instance of interaction. And I asked this question earlier, is this sharp guy? Like, why would you want to cheat a fellow Nigerian knowing that we all are in this same government and this same economic situation where things are difficult for everybody on a day-to-day basis? And this still, you know, it's beyond the leaders. The leaders come from the society. Like he said, we are the government. So why would we be, oh, corruption? Corruption is there, but it's also here amongst us. And it's so sad that it's amongst us where we were complaining about the higher body, but we did not see we're doing the same. You hike the price of things that shouldn't be. You triple the cost of things that shouldn't be. You tip teachers to help your kids pass exams. This is corruption, like it or not. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? We've lost that caller. Please do well to call in. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your contributions. We're asking, will Nigeria ever win the fight against corruption with how deeply rooted corruption has gotten intertwined in our everyday activities? One way or another, I would beat my chest to say every Nigerian has experienced corruption one way or another, either through the supposed, you know, sharp guy, oh, I just want to run a quick street on this person, for a lack of better word to describe that, you know, or do one or two things to cut this person short of funds. You know, one way or another, every Nigerian has a story or a tale of corruption being happened to him or her in this country. But let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, please. This is Michael from Lagos.
Michael from?
Lagos.
Lagos. Good morning, Michael. How is Lagos? Busy already?
Good morning to you. Very fine. Lagos is good this morning.
All right. So what's your take on corruption? You know, I always see lots of story about Lagos and the whole sharp guy drama. You know, do you think Nigeria will ever win the fight against corruption?
My sister, the question this morning is, who is doing the fighting? Who is fighting corruption? Do you think anybody is fighting corruption? I think that's the question. The question I want to ask you this morning is, you know, as a parent, let me say, for example, as a father, you would want to be an example to your children, right? So it starts from you as a father, right? Or as a mother, as the case may be. Now, has your president told you how much he bought his private jet? So who is fighting corruption now? We all know and see and heard of, I don't want to mention them, somebody pocketing dollars in his babariga. He has been promoted. You know about our Senate president, who has a whole lot of, please, this is a joke. It's just a sham. There is not, like, nobody is fighting any corruption anywhere. That's just it. Because when I said I'm fighting corruption, I should be able to put my foot on the ground and said, I want to come out with clean hand. This is me. Check me out. Verify. So I cannot tell you, do as I say, but don't do as I do. It doesn't work that way. And that's the problem. It starts from home. Me as a father, I have to be an example to my children and say, don't do this. And I will make sure that I am not doing it myself. So, my sister, it is well, but the truth of the matter is that nobody is fighting corruption. Look at Yaya Bello. Yesterday, we watched on TV that EFCC wanted to arrest him. So tell me, is it that EFCC are incapacitated that they cannot arrest him? That is the corruption we are talking about. Why? Because he has people that are backing him. And everybody knows who his father is.
Okay.
His political father, I mean. Okay. It is well. God will deliver this country.
God will deliver Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. Yes. Thank you very much, Michael. He said it is a sham, and he kept on asking who is fighting corruption. So are we trying to say that there's been no success story of corruption in Nigeria, the fight against corruption in Nigeria? Because I think we had a caller who mentioned that people with money are being glorified. Let me paraphrase, because I'd love to paraphrase and add more to what he said, that people with money are being glorified without questions being asked on the source of their money. As a parent, your child comes home with millions of naira and you do not ask where he got that money from. You don't question, you don't poke holes in his successes to know, okay, my child, you're too young for this. Where did you get this money from? Is it by an honest means? Did you dupe somebody? Did you take somebody of their livelihood? All of that drama put together. And then, like Michael said, it starts from top. The father. But we've had several fathers in Nigerians that have not been honest and transparent when it comes to resources and finances and corruption. Now, let's take this call. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, my dear.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Maiduguri, Alhaji Bukar Bilin.
Alhaji Bukar, thank you for joining us. So what's your thought on, first of all, how is Maiduguri this morning? Were you affected by the flood?
Well, we are just, for God's sake, we are suffering for the flood, that crazy flood who destroyed Maiduguri. And also, we are okay now. We are praying for Almighty Allah. But matter of corruption, in Nigeria, everybody is corrupt. I imagine a accountant general in Nigeria, they send us 143 billion to give the ex-servicemen 63 NF who fight for to settle between Biafra and Nigeria. The accountant general, they eat the money alone. When they took him to court, he was smiling and laughing. Can you say that if we are strong to fight the corruption, at that time that man will jail or they will shoot him, then nobody will corrupt. Because anybody who steal money, they get godfather, they will say no, Mukuna Liba. They bail him and go. How can we control the corruption? We will not. Everybody, they have no right, everybody is corrupt in Nigeria. All the people answer the question today, they are doing the right thing and they talk the right thing. Since Buhari has not controlled the corruption, nobody will in Nigeria fight corruption, unless if God give us good leaders, honest, who are fearing Almighty Allah, when they come to power, they will fight corruption. That's what I know, that nobody will fight corruption in Nigeria since Buhari cannot fight it.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. He said, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your contribution and your call. Unfortunately, this is our last caller for this morning. Thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution on the show. And our heart goes out once again to the people of Maiduguri on, what is happening. And we also are grateful to Nigerians out there who are putting out a helping hand to help sustain those who they can and help out those who they can. Well, that's our last caller for this morning, and he said if Buhari could not fight corruption, no other person can. But I don't think we should put the fate of Nigeria in just the hands of one person. And you also said we're looking forward to having a good leader who would be able to fully fight corruption, at least to the barest minimum. And then also, in conclusion, corruption is like fight against corruption is a very complex battle that has been going on in Nigeria. While there have been successes and recoveries, there's also been cases of what I call it, shadiness and lack of transparency. And the fact that it is a cankerworm that has eaten deep even amongst we Nigerians in our daily lives is something that needs a lot of question and focus. So like we always say, charity begins at home. As parents, as families, let us play, as communities, let's play a major role in fighting corruption one way or another. Questioning people's source of wealth, calling people to book, holding the government accountable, the best way we can. And we hope that one day God will give us a change we deserve in Nigeria, both as Nigerians and as the leaders we put in power at the end of the day. Well, we've come to the end of this interactive segment.